Hey, it's your girl Andrea, aka Sweets, and you know where I'm at? I'm at the Creative Lounge.
What's going on, family? It's your boy Pop, and welcome to the Clarity Lounge here at the Creative Lounge. Yep, that's right. We are in the studio for this very special show, and I have this amazing guest that, well, I'm going to let her introduce herself in just a minute. But you definitely want to tap in because this is a young lady who is doing some amazing things, and she's going to tell you all about it. So sit back, relax, and tap in. Let's go. Hello there. How are you?
What's up, Pop? How are you?
I'm great. This is, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Andrea Gray. We've known each other for 30 years, at least, right? At least 30 years, right? I know we don't look it. And this is an honor for me to be able to sit down with you because we haven't seen each other in forever and ever.
20 years.
Yes, at least 20 years. So it's great that we got a chance to reconnect and we're going to have this conversation. So before we do, we're going to do this thing called It's Random. Okay? All right? And then after we do It's Random, then I'm going to let you kind of tell your story. We're going to get into your story a little bit. And then we're going to continue on in this phenomenal conversation. Okay. All right? So with It's Random, ask you 5 random questions. Okay? No right or wrong answer. So whatever comes to your mind, share it. All right? Cool?
Got you.
All right. So first question. What is your favorite TV show of all time?
Favorite TV show of all time is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Okay. That's solid, actually. That's actually a first. May I ask, why is that your favorite TV show of all time?
The whole family dynamic, like, you know, your cousin coming to live with you, like us growing up in the 80s, like that would happen. Like,
yeah.
Oh, your cousin's gonna come stay for a little bit because something's happened. He got in trouble. And,
something's
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I just thought it was so cool that even the dynamic of like Will with Ashley, which each person, like, I feel like I have that dynamic like with my family. I am the one that like is goofy and I'm just very outspoken, maybe I say. Like,
Got you. Okay.
You know, so.
No, that's solid. All right, good. So number two, what is your favorite meal? What is your favorite meal?
My favorite meal is anything Italian.
Anything?
I love pasta.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a pescatarian, but you won't like really know that I'm pescatarian because I'm still thick. It's because I love pasta.
Yeah, okay.
I can't become a vegan because I love cheese. So, yeah, Italian food, anything.
Anything
doesn't
Italian.
Really matter.
Solid. Okay, good. Number three. What is your favorite album of all time? Favorite album of all time?
Ooh, that's a good one. TLC, Crazy, Sexy, Cool.
Whoa. Okay.
I was in love with TLC back in the day. I loved them.
Dang, that is, yeah. That was a solid album all the way through. Yes, that was solid all the way through. That's good. Okay. All right, listen, you're knocking these out the park. All right, number four. Okay, number 4. What advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
Don't start smoking cigarettes.
Don't start smoking cigarettes. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Number 5. What is one of your greatest accomplishments to date?
My greatest accomplishment today? I mean, I know we're going to get into it later, but it's hosting New York Fashion Week in Times Square.
Let's go.
Come on.
Let's go.
It's not even like 30,000 people. It's like 30 million people. You feel what I'm coming through, walking, going wherever they're going, even if they're not sitting there.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing.
Oh, that's dope. Well, listen.
I think I did good.
You survived. It's random. Listen, I told you it's going to be all right. You knocked them out the park. So good. So look, give a brief introduction. who you are, where you come from, right? Talk a little bit about your story, because what I like to do is after we break the ice, I like to get into the journey, right? Because a lot of the times what ends up happening is that people see where you are, right? And they automatically put you kind of here, not realizing that you're a human being that had to actually go through a whole bunch of things in order to get to where it is that you are. So I always think it's important to start with the journey so people can resonate with who you are and your story. So tell us where you're from. Tell us a little bit about your background, home, everything.
Of course. Well, everybody, you guys know me as Andrea or Andrea Denise or Drea, or even Sweets.
Yes,
you know?
Sweets.
So people also know me as Sweets.
Yeah.
But I'm from Greenburgh, New York. I did, grow up for a little bit of time in Middletown.
Okay.
So I can't let Middletown, because sometimes when I put I'm from Greenburgh, New York, they be like, what about Middletown? And I was like, oh, well, yeah, I'm from Middletown too.
Yeah.
So I like to say I grew up in Middletown and Greenburgh, New York.
Okay.
And I thought that I was going to be like a sports agent, go to college, and play basketball. But that's just not how life had worked out, I decided that I was gonna go down south, and when I went down south, everything happened. Everything that could possibly happen in life happened.
Wow.
The love of your life died, things happen, and I've never ever been in jail my whole entire life. But you get caught up in the wrong thing with the wrong people, and life will teach you a real good lesson.
Yeah.
So I moved to Atlanta, and I got into the entertainment business, and that literally saved me.
Mm-hmm.
I was working for the Marriott for years, working concierge, meeting all type of different people, working at the front desk, everything. So from the Marriott, once I started working there and then meeting people, and I happened to randomly go take some pictures for a boyfriend, literally a boyfriend, and the photographer was like, hey, do you mind if I put one of your photos up for a magazine? And I was like, oh, I don't care. They were just it wasn't serious, it was just for fun.
Yeah.
Well, my picture got picked, and I was in the magazine, and from there, it was just my first name though was Roxy. I used to like Roxy Diaz from 106 in Park.
Oh.
So my first name was Roxy Rose. Before,
wait, hold on. That was like your stage name?
That was my model name, because when you're a model, or when you are in entertainment business, sometimes you really don't want people to know. If you know my real name, you know how many people did not know my real name in Atlanta when I first, no one knew my real name. They knew Sweets. But if you knew me personally, then I knew that you knew Andrea. And that's how it was when I first, started dibbling and dabbling in the entertainment.
Interesting. Okay.
And the guy at the time that I was dating, he was really, he knew a lot of people, so it was very good. And, so I was in the in crowd, and that was a good life to live for a little bit, but when do you settle down and have a life?
Yeah.
With a family. I give props to all the entertainers that can do that. You know what I mean? But for me, I had to come all the way out of that environment. And I decided to come home to New York 5 years ago. I came home, and I said I'm gonna stay so I can help take care of my nana. In that process, I just started doing my little modeling up here. My manager, his name is Jonathan. He's been my manager for the last 7 years.
Wow.
So he got me I was a co-host of the New York Fashion Week show at first.
Okay.
I was a co-host. It was 2 hosts. And then ever since that first year I co-host, I've never had a co-host again.
You did your thing. Okay.
I am just a people person. I'm a very personable person. I feel I just like to engage with different people from different cultures and everything. So
But you've always been that.
I've always been that way.
You've always
But,
had that personality.
When I grew up in Greenberg, that's how it was.
Yeah.
That's how we were raised.
100%.
Like, to be intrigued with different cultures and things like that, to experience different things. Like, when you go places, experience that place. Don't just go to go. Like, because when I go on vacation, there's not one day on my itinerary that is not doing something. There's never a relaxed day. My friends are like, you want to go somewhere? Absolutely. I can sleep on the 18-hour flight back home.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
So, like, I just, that's how I grew up. I mean,
I love it. So,
your dad, my mom,
yeah.
Cassandra, Aunt Dawn, Auntie Diane, Miss Judith, all of them, George Abrams, James Robinson, Mr. Young, Brenda, like all of them, Pat White, like she is still my mentor to this day.
Wow.
Because of my actual, I like to call it my 9-to-5 job. My 9-to-5 job, like, I don't know if you know, but Pat used to be Westchester County develop, like, she was over that whole part of it. And so I am a behavioral therapist now. So I work with autistic kids, young adults, and helping them, cope with life in the real world. So,
look at that, full circle. So that's okay. So we're gonna unpack.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. We're gonna unpack, because what I think is important, and because I heard a couple of things, and as you were talking, and one of the things you talked about, leaving New York, going to Atlanta, and you said that everything that could possibly happen in life happens, right? And so what I want to just touch on that for a second, because when you left for Atlanta, was the thought process you're going to start over? Was it that you thought the grass was greener on the other side? Like, what prompted, first of all, that move or that shift? Because I mean, it's a shift coming from New York. You know what I'm saying? Coming from New York and like being, your entire life to now going to, like, it's a whole different vibe.
I didn't go to Atlanta first.
So where did you go to first?
Savannah,
Georgia.
Which is the country cracker of all cracker countries.
Wow. So okay, so now this is a culture shock. It has to be a culture shock.
I went from wearing heels every day to wearing sneakers.
Wow. Okay.
Because are you gonna wear heels walking in dirt? You know what I mean? Because it was like, in Savannah is the city part, but like, my family's from like a little town in Jasper County, South Carolina, across the bridge from Savannah. So I was over there, and then once I got a job in my life and stuff, I went to Savannah.
Got you.
And that was different.
Got you.
But when I first went, huge culture shock.
Okay.
Talking about like the dealers and stuff, like, I'm from New York. I know that there are drugs and stuff like that, but this was like when I was 18. I knew about all of that, but we don't see it at hand here.
Yeah.
Down there, they do not care. They're gonna do everything right out in the open in front of you, the kids, and everybody else who's around.
Wow.
That was the biggest culture shock.
Wow.
The biggest.
So you shift. You're now in Georgia. You go from Savannah. Staying with your family.
Savannah.
In Savannah.
No, I don't go to Savannah anymore. It's Atlanta.
So then you went to Atlanta. So you mentioned working at the Marriott and people coming in and you meeting a lot of people. And I know that in the entertainment industry, you hear a lot about relationships. How important, as someone who's in the industry, how important are relationships, and how has having genuine relationships helped you personally in your career?
I mean, having genuine relationships with anyone, I feel, in my life are great, because you never know how somebody can bring you up a notch, or how you guys can piggyback off of each other and use each other for something. So like, I mean, I just remember one time I used to live in Smyrna in Atlanta over, it was just, what's her name? Toya. She had her shop over there.
Okay.
And I used to shop there all the time because my house was right there. I could walk there. So, and the lady in there was her best friend. Never, I'm not really into knowing like who people are. I just know people's names and like, oh, if I see their face, it's like, oh, okay, that's who that is. But I'm not really like a groupie person. So I wouldn't know like that was her best friend. But I was just in there generally. But it did get me a gig with Toya for her website. You know what I mean? So like that was years ago. But, it was something as little as that, having a genuine, she's the clerk at the store. I'm having a conversation back and forth. And all of a sudden she's like, hey, Toya's looking for someone to do a shoot. Are you available? I sure am. It was great. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
So now when I see these people in the club, they're like, oh, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
So that, like, something as little as that. And even somebody, for a model, like gigs. Yeah. You get gigs from knowing people. Like, oh, I know somebody who needs this model for you. I did music videos and things like that as well. So, anybody can put you into the right place.
I love it. And relationships are super key. And so like for you, what would you say what's your definition of a genuine relationship? Because a lot of people I think relationship has become a buzzword where people are just just relationship kind of on the surface. But for you, because you mentioned genuine relationships, what's your definition of a genuine relationship?
So for me, I would say a genuine relationship is, Pop, simple. Me and you have a genuine relationship. I haven't seen you in umpteen years. Yeah. Hey, you're going to be in town. Can we get Absolutely. Yeah. That is a genuine thing. Nobody's looking for nothing in return. Yeah. It is what it is. This is who we are. Hey, boom. Yeah. That's genuine relationship. Like, I don't want to be friends with somebody because they know what I can do for them, or they know where I can bring them. No. Or they know what party, or they know that I'm not going to nobody's club and be on anybody's line if I have to buy the section myself. Yeah. That's not a genuine friend. Yeah. Genuine friend is gonna ride out with you if y'all are standing in the back of the ladies' line in the rain, 100%. Waiting to get in.
Yeah, I love that. And I think you tap on something so beautiful too, because you talked about even growing up in Greenberg and your upbringing, being intrigued with people and being a people's person, right? And I think having genuine relationships are geared around, or easier when you actually genuinely like people. You know what I'm saying? Like when you genuinely like people, and when you're genuinely curious and interested about people, not from a, like you said, not from a predatory type of situation. Absolutely. Where I'm trying to figure you out so I can see where a weak point is that I can strike, but genuinely wanting to know who you are, genuinely wanting to know your interests, genuinely, and even if it doesn't even evolve in anything right then and there. It may not. And I think that to your point, that establishing relationships should not be for something, right? It should be, listen, let me go ahead and stretch myself, right? And be willing to invite somebody into my space and get to know that individual. You know what I mean? And I'm sure this will probably be unpacked a little bit more as we continue talking. But I'm sure that it was those genuine interactions that maybe you didn't think about that turned around at some point in time and became a door or a key that opened up a door somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Right. And because you treat everyone with respect, and because you honor people in your approach to them, then that's something that they never forget. All right. So now you get you go from Marriott, someone you now have you doing a photo shoot for a boyfriend, and magazine. Photographer says, "Hey, look, you mind if I put one of these pictures in the magazine?" Your picture gets picked for this magazine. when you get the news that your picture gets picked, what was going through your mind? How did you react? How did you respond?
I'm like, oh, okay, because I really wasn't trying to be a model. Like,
okay.
At this point, I wasn't, oh, okay, like, all right.
Yeah.
Great, that's awesome. Let me know when it comes out. Like, you know,
like that was it? Like
that
that's
was
just
it.
like,
That
wow.
was it, because I really wasn't into that at the time. Like, I really wasn't. I mean, you know, from that, there's so much other things that happen. Like, we may need another show, but just like Atlanta is very different. And you know, when you meet people, you know, I met, I don't know if you remember Egypt Shepherd. She used to be on the radio. She was a radio personality.
Yes.
I met her husband, DJ Fidel. It's just so crazy. My aunt's son's father, cool, because he did Santana Maria.
Wow.
He was their DJ back then.
Wow.
So it was like, oh, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
So from there, I got offered to be on TV. Like, so there was so many things that branched out from this one thing. Because one thing about Atlanta, if somebody sees you doing it and they know somebody that can help put you further, they're going to put you on. As long as you show that genuine, like you're not trying to be there to be a groupie.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So you went out, now you're in Atlanta, no plan to be a model, no plan to be in the entertainment industry, none of that. So now this opportunity comes, you land in a magazine, you're like, okay, whatever. At what point though, did you say, yo, like, hold on a second, maybe I need to give this thing a little bit more attention. Maybe I need to get this modeling thing, or maybe I need to give this new look a little bit more of my attention. At what point, was there more opportunity that came your way? Like, at what point in time, like, okay, all right, talk to me.
Then I went to another photo shoot, and I'm trying to think of what it's called. But it's a photo shoot when there's multiple models, multiple photographers, and a power shoot. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I went to a power shoot.
Okay.
And from there, it was on. I just started doing photo shoots, getting, as we call it now, content. But I had big content back then that didn't even know, social media wasn't what it was now, you know. So, and from there, it was just, okay, I'm going to be in this magazine. I met some different people. I met this one guy. His name was Tone Mitchell.
Okay.
Remember I just read that from GEI?
Yeah.
I met him, and he always had opportunities for me, even though I wasn't a part of his agency.
Wow.
Even though I didn't sign to him.
Yeah.
I stayed independent, and even when I wanted to start my own, Sexy Hustlers was my agency.
Okay.
They always supported me, always, you know what I mean? So I even did so many photo shoots with them and did events with them. And they are the ones that got me started, here we go, hosting fashion shows and things like that. But I did the modeling for a while, but I stuck to print. I didn't do so much shows. Okay. I'm a print model. I did not like walking in shows at all. Okay. I mean, I did if it was an opportunity, but other than that, I hated walking.
Interesting.
But now I host 6-hour shows.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. It's an evolution of everything, right? So now you're doing photo shoots. You're like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go all in on this thing. You're doing photo shoots. You're meeting more people. You're getting your name out there. You're in multiple magazines. You're doing print, right?
Now I'm hosting shows.
And you're
hosting clubs.
Hosting clubs. So now, tell me, for those, because I'm not familiar, how does a model get paid? How did he or she get paid? So as you're doing these photo shoots and now you're hosting these shows, how are you making a living doing this?
So now you're looking for paid gigs.
Okay.
So I even went into I ended up going with Hilton. It's called Hilton Castings
Okay.
in Atlanta. And they put you on TV shows. I was on BET The Game a few episodes.
Really?
They casted me. That's how I did Tyler Perry, The Have and Have Nots.
You on Have and Have Not too?
Was it season 2? Yeah, because that's when he was running for governor, right? I believe so.
That's
But
crazy.
we were like the sexy interns in the office,
Yeah.
you know, in the campaign office or whatever. But yeah, like little things like that. They give you little opportunities, and then you meet more actors and actresses that want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So when they see gigs, they're like, "Oh, did you see this gig?" I even was in. There was a movie with I can't even think of the name of it right now, but it was Jennifer Lopez and Viola Davis. It was at a club in Atlanta, and they were looking for bottle girls, and I just happened to got picked for one, you know. So when both of their sons got killed, I can't think of the name, but yeah, when both their sons got killed, there's like a club scene in Viola Davis and Jennifer going to the club to look for the drug dealer.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just so many opportunities. I'm telling you. You meet this person here, you meet somebody, extra that like, you know, extras make the movies.
Yeah,
really.
for sure.
I mean, like for sure.
Yeah.
I know that the actors and actresses like, but extras we put in like long hours too.
Wow.
And you have to like remember what you did and try to make the same movement because you're gonna do this.
Yeah, 1,000 times.
1,000 times,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And make sure you're not looking into the camera, like
Yeah.
you know.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just started doing that, and that's just met more people, and then finally I decided to come back home in 2018.
Okay.
And here we are.
So, see, I love what you, because here's the thing. Oftentimes, and I'm glad that you allowed us to look behind the scenes, because a lot of people want
instant fame.
They find glamorous. They want the instant fame. They want those opportunities, right? Because they see people doing it and they say, "Oh, I can do that." But first of all, what I think is important, the very foundationally, the groundwork that you laid was that it all began with relationships. But then it's a level of you having to hustle in order to capitalize or execute on these opportunities. But there's also a side to it that you don't see. So you see, when the movie comes out, you see the sexy bottle girl, but you don't see the fact that you had to do the same movements 1,000 times to get it right. You don't see the fact that you had to be on set wherever the set was
from 6 a.m. to midnight. You never know.
You never know. So you don't see that flip side of that. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because it's not all glitz and glamour. It's work just like everything else, right? Because oftentimes people see actors, or they see the extras, or they see the people that are in front of the camera, like, oh, that's an easy job.
Yeah.
That's not an easy job.
Like even my relationship I met, his name was Reese. He was a radio personality in Atlanta. Something so simple, he needed an assistant. What do I know about being somebody's assistant?
Yeah.
I just knew he needed me at the radio station to get football teams. I had a stepson at the time that played football. I could get all the teams there, because I had a good relationship. So from there, at the radio station, meeting him, he opened up so much, So I'm telling you, all the relationships, they all come back in full circle one time. And I was honored to be with him on the radio and just, be able to meet the people, because it just was a great experiences again, like having these experiences in life and like knowing that you're like not living life in vain because you're experiencing life is a great thing.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. And so, all right. So now you're working for other people.
Mm-hmm.
At some point you say, you know what, I want to start to kind of do this for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at what point did you begin to say, okay, I know enough about the business now, so now I could probably do something on my own, right? First of all, at what point did that happen?
was supposed to I did a pilot for a TV show with these girls called Glass Candy Models, and it was so long ago. I did that, and you put everything into it, and then it flops, so it was like, okay. Then I tried to be with the DJ Coalition, and it just, I don't want to keep doing things for free.
Yeah.
So it was like, what do I have to do? I have to find my own work now. I am my own boss now.
Yeah.
And one thing I can say about GEI is that they gave me that opportunity. Got you.
So you transitioned into a boss. So now, I don't know how much you were using social media at this particular point in time. You were using it at all, very little.
Very little, unless they did a flyer like with me for the club or something, or I posted my family or something like that, but not the way I use it now.
Got you. So let's delve into that a little bit, because now you're in the entertainment business, and you have these relationships. You've been doing work. You're like, look, it's time for me to make a shift. And so, social media is a great platform to be able to really bring visibility to whatever it is that you're doing. So, when did you start to use social media, and when did you start using social media, and when did you start using it to promote yourself, and not like you said, not just to post family pictures?
I want to say in the last 2 years, really.
Wow, okay.
Because I got into the travel agency, which made me use my social media more to get new people into my stream, to get people to understand what I'm doing so they could be a part of my travel agency or use me to book you to fly, to travel.
Gotcha.
So I came up with a system.
You came up with a system. Okay, so we gotta talk about the system, because I think this is gonna be extremely interesting. What I love about what you're saying, though, is that you're a hustler. Clearly,
I'm a mixed child.
Yes, you are. You're your mother's child, and you go after it. But you don't just go after it, but you go after it with an energy and with a vigor and with a determination. And I think that right there is something that has to be noted and has to be underlined and underscored, right? Because of all of the endeavors that you participated in, whether it is the entertainment industry, whether it is your travel agency, whether it is what we're going to be talking about, your opportunity now that you're currently taking advantage of. That grit, that determination, that willingness to try new things, right?
You have to have faith.
And that faith in you, and that faith that you have in yourself, and that ability to, or that work ethic that you put in everything that you do. That's big. So you start using social media. Now, you mentioned to me off camera. That you have this system that you utilize for your social media content that people think, in your own words, people think that you're crazy by utilizing this strategy. So talk about this social media strategy that you have that people think you're crazy.
Okay, so you know how every picture you want to have the perfect quote, the perfect hashtag, and everything like that.
Yes.
So in my phone of my notes, I have a folder. It's called weekly content.
Okay.
So in weekly content I'm sorry, I just changed it because I'm over weekly. It's monthly content now.
Okay, let's go.
But each week has a day.
Got you.
So Sunday, week 1, Monday, week 1, Tuesday.
Yes.
So every day has a day in my... So there's 5 quotes. Let me see if I can show you. There's 5 quotes for each time of the day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you doing today? Or it's going to tell you to post a reel.
Wow. Well, wait, okay, so hold on, wait a second.
So I pick the pictures out,
yeah,
and they're all underneath each thing, and then I pick the quotes out.
So, and everything is mapped out. So all you're literally doing is just taking a picture and copy and pasting.
Well, the night before,
I
schedule everything.
Got you. What do you use to schedule your content?
Facebook.
Oh, okay. So you use I use Facebook as well.
I know that there's all these different apps and everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to for the Andrea Denise page, schedule it on FaceTime, Facebook, schedule it on Instagram. Boom.
Yeah.
Out the door.
Easy.
It's the same exact times.
Yeah.
So it looks like I'm posting together, but I'm not. It's been set since the night before.
I love it.
Because I just don't have enough time in my day.
Yeah.
I actually have like a job.
You
know what I mean? Like I have to do that first, or bills do not get paid.
Yeah, 100%.
And I mean, yes, I would love for my content to start making me money, but it's like not a dream of mine. So it's not. You get the difference. Like it's something good, and if it happens, thank God.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, I'm not gonna be stressed out about it, or because that's not a goal for me.
I love that.
It's not a goal.
So, but let me tell you why that's so fire.
What?
I'm gonna tell you why that's so fire, because you're doing it not necessarily for an outcome. So you're doing it because you understand it's necessary, and you also understand the importance of it, and you're getting practice out of it as well, right? Because you're in a habit of thinking content, curating your content, and scheduling your content so it can be posted. So you're still doing the work, but you're doing it without. But you're not checking. You're not checking every 5 minutes and refreshing the page and checking the insights and all that. You're not doing that. So I love.
Listen, when I made a thing and it said 1.1K views, I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
They like that one.
Yeah.
Like that's just how I am with it. Like
that's dope.
It's not driving me crazy.
And I think that is very, very, very important, because you understand the value of it. And again, you're exercising the muscle, but it's not for a particular outcome. So you're not stressed or over consumed by it, because that's not, like you said, that's not your goal.
Right.
So now, which brings another whole layer to it. You have a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And you're also building your brand.
Yeah.
And marketing yourself. What are some of the benefits of that, and what are some of the challenges of that?
The benefits is I don't have to share my earnings with the soul.
Yeah, okay, got you.
That's just point blank, period.
Yeah.
Like if I come and I have a whole team and I have these people making my marketing stuff, people are looking for something. People are not just gonna just do all the work for you and be like, oh, you made $1 million, you're not gonna give me none.
Yeah, 100%.
But me, I made $1 million, I don't have to give you none.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
But the difference is like I don't have anyone else's input.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know how they say like 4 eyes are better than 2.
Mm-hmm.
Always 4 eyes are better than 2.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't have that insight of someone else.
Yeah.
Like, oh, should I post this picture with that quote? You know what? It doesn't even matter, because it's my page. I'm gonna post it with that at the same.
I got you.
See, so I have like a double standard in my head. Is like, should I ask somebody about this? Oh yeah, I should, because I want to get somebody else's opinion. But then it's like, it doesn't matter their opinion anyway, because it's my page.
It's your page.
So if you don't like it, well, I like it. I think it's good. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, I got you.
Even though I did ask you for your input, I still went with my own. So why did I even go through that?
Got you. I got you. So it takes you having a 9 to 5 while you're building your brand. That's helping you, or marketing yourself. That's helping you, or that's taking some of the pressure off of you as well. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not necessarily looking to monetize your content as yet. Even if, like you said, if it comes, that's great. That's great. But because you have the 9 to 5, and I'm glad that you're saying that, because a lot of people feel as if, hey man, like you hear a lot of people online now bashing people who have 9 to 5s, as if
I don't even.
As if
I know a few from Greenberg that have bashed, that are online, and I've done it, and it's, you know what, that's what you feel.
Yeah.
One thing about it, I love what I do.
Yeah.
It's not a 9 to 5 that I hate going to.
Yeah.
It's not a 9 to 5 that I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta get up for work this morning. Like, nobody wants to go to a job that you don't want to get up for in the morning.
100%. 100%.
I love my job. I travel on my job.
Yeah.
I eat great food on my job.
Yeah.
The client that I have, he is amazing. And he likes the finer things in life. And guess what? I get to be a part of it too.
Yeah.
But I love my job.
Yeah, I love that.
You have to love what you do in any way. If it's your job or if it's what you want to do in life, if you don't love it and it's somebody else's dream for you, nothing's gonna happen for you.
100%.
So,
Oh, I love that. So you unapologetic about having your 9 to 5 and also building what you're building on the side. I love it. So let's land this plane.
If the internet is out, I have no content, I have no money.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Do you get my 9 to 5? The internet's not going out, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean? Just something little as that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fact. No, it's a fact. It's funny. I had that question earlier. It's like, yo, if social media went away, like, what then? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I was like, dang, that's a great question.
What are all these people that are doing all these hacks and stuff? What are they gonna do?
Yeah, that's fact. No, you're absolutely right. And I was like, dang, that was a phenomenal question. So you now have been able to excel in a lot of different areas because you have genuinely been curious. You've genuinely offered yourself to people as a friend, as someone who is genuinely interested in them, just a people's person. And because of that, you've been able to seamlessly navigate through your interests in different areas and industries and been able to do it really well. So I salute you and I applaud you for that. And you've now been able to, yet again, leverage and parlay your expertise, your work in as far as modeling. You've been able to now leverage that in order to do something super dope that you've been able to do not just 1 year, but you've been able to do 3 years, 4 years? 4 years. So tell the people this dope thing that you've been able to do for 4 years in a row, including this year, 2023.
I host a New York Fashion Week Experience fashion show in Times Square live.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I started with a co-host.
You started with a co-host.
Yes.
So tell me how this even came about.
My manager is a dope photographer.
Okay.
And so, shout out to Jonathan.
Shout out to Jonathan.
Literally, I told him, I really don't want to, do this modeling thing.
Yeah.
He said, you know what? We're going to make you a host. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, I'm going to make you a host. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I started hosting the GEI fashion shows.
Okay.
And then when I moved to, he always used to tell me when I was in Atlanta, when you move to New York, I got you. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And when I moved to New York, and he had me.
Wow.
And I co-hosted with some, they had a host already.
Yeah.
The first year. And they brought me in as the co-host.
Yeah.
And I was, of course, honored for that. And then after that, I was like, I can't have anyone else. My energy is different from somebody else's. The girl, she was a great woman. She was great. And she had her own type of energy, but it was I had a hyping, connection with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can go from preppy and, very serious and proper and hello, my name is, and then I can be, when you're out there with 30 million people walking by, trains, the subways, the cars, honking, everything going on, how you gonna get attention? Hello, my name is Sweets, and you have to have the energy,
100%.
street energy is so different.
Yeah.
So that's why I enjoy the show, because it's a different. I don't have to be primpy and prompt.
Yeah.
I can be me and just like my overly outspoken self.
Yeah.
And
you can be
that's
authentic.
what has gotten me to host every year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
so this is
yes, it's this Saturday.
Is this Saturday? Okay.
Yeah.
So this Saturday in Times Square.
Times Square between 43rd and 44th on Broadway.
What time?
It's from 1 showtime to 6.
Okay, got you.
But it's right where the ball drops. If anyone
Okay.
knows, as soon as you come out the subway, it's right there.
Boom. Okay.
And I used to be at the Red Steps, but this year there's so much going on, so we moved to. It's actually a primer location, which is the right there at the ball drop. So
Wow.
we're excited. iHeartRadio
It's sponsoring.
is sponsoring, is doing the music and things.
Dope.
Because the DJ Brooklyn Rich, he I don't know if you may know, but he's been an executive producer. His name is Etc. And
Okay.
he produces a lot of things, but they have a show on iHeartRadio.
Okay.
So, well, Etc. has a show, and Brooklyn Rich is his DJ.
Okay.
So they're coming to be the DJ. So of course we have the iHeart backup.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's awesome.
dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So you're running the show. So you have you're introducing designers and
Everything.
Everything.
I have 3 wardrobe changes.
Really?
I have 3 wardrobe changes. Yes, they do it's called the Sweets Walk.
That's dope.
So I walk the runway.
Yeah.
In each some design. So this year I'm wearing a designer called Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I just can't wait for everyone to see it. Because he is he's a couture, high fashion, but he's like fantasy.
Ooh.
So one of my outfits are so over the top, outrageous.
Yeah.
You're like, wow. So I'm so excited for my wardrobe changes and what they call Sweets Walk. But when I need to waste time in the show, I always bring people up from the thing and be like, walk that walk, because no one knows how hard it is for models to go up on that stage
100%.
and walk that walk, heels, hot.
Yeah.
Sometimes the clothes, they fit, but they're uncomfortable because it's just something that you wouldn't normally wear or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time.
That is
Showtime is 1 p.m. We have some great, I can't even say who's performing, so, but just know.
You gotta pull up.
There are great performances and everything. It is
So here's the thing though, like I don't think they really understand. Like you showed me some off camera, you showed me some footage.
People don't understand how many people are in Times Square.
So many people. But listen, you got your own little
Team.
tent. You got a glam team doing your makeup, doing your hair, making sure like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
And my team is from Greenberg.
Really?
There's a girl,
dope.
her name is Tati. She's local. I don't think she's from Greenberg, but she lives in Greenberg now, so she's from Greenberg for me.
I got you.
And
100%.
Tati, she's been doing my makeup for forever. And then Dolly, she's from Greenberg. I don't think she's from Greenberg too.
Okay.
But she does my hair. She always does my hair.
Wow.
So I mean, I just have my team, and then I have my friend. She's always my assistant. And then I have a girl who I am using, who's I've actually met as a model. She modeled in one of my shows. Her and I became really great friends, and so she's gonna be assisting me this year too.
Wow.
So yeah, and then they told me I get security this year.
Oh,
and I said, I am really moving up in the world. Okay.
That's a big, for real. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. But you put in the work to be there.
I mean, I'm doing virtual. We doing virtual practices. 2 hours in a virtual practice. It's crazy, but you got to do what you got to do in order for the show to be what it is.
Yeah.
It's 15, 20 designers. Do you understand? The designer list is long. Mind you, there's presentations for different awards.
Yeah.
And performers, like,
yeah.
There's just a lot going on. And from 1 to 6 is like, it's long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Listen, but you doing it.
I love it. I anticipate it every year.
And you've done the work
yeah.
to get there. And it all started with, first of all, you being gifted with the love of people. And you've been able to kind of build that, and that became a snowball effect of relationships that plugged you in over and over throughout your journey, doors opening up to the point now where you're able to really, as you said, be your true and authentic self on a stage where you love to be amongst people that you love to do it with. So, like, that's a win. That's a win. So I salute you for everything that you have accomplished and that you will accomplish. So tell the people where they can find you, what your social media handles, what you want them to, you got something going on?
Yeah, my social media is at _Andrea Denise.
Okay.
And then also at Sweets with a Z Fly. And then my travel agents, I have 1 million Instagrams. I just want you guys to know. So if you are trying to listen, please stop sending me messages on Instagram. Write the message underneath the picture. And then I will see it. Because I do not see those requested messages. I don't see them.
So like,
you know, if you find one page, you can find all my pages. You know, I do have a travel agency, book with me, cruises, whatever you want. Whatever you need, you know, please, like, you know, go ahead and book with me.
Let's go.
But my modeling page is Sweets Fly, and then my everyday page is the Andrea Denise, where you'll see me traveling around the world. I mean, I just came back not too long ago from Singapore and Thailand.
Okay.
Last year I went to Egypt and Turkey and Morocco and Paris. Like, every time I go somewhere, I go to two countries.
Dope.
So if you book with me, I'll show you how for the same price.
It's for the same
you know
price,
what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just have a lot going on in life. I'm so excited. I literally am, you know, I guess I could tell everyone I'm getting ready to leave New York.
Okay.
Like, you know, because I'm here more, you know, but I'm getting ready to go. I'm going to go down south. I haven't chose where yet, but like, it's definitely probably going to be Houston.
Okay.
You know, and I'm gonna go there and do it all over again. You know?
Do it all over again. Listen, but you've been able to do it, and you've been able to do it well, and you've been able to adapt and make adjustments to make wherever you've been successful. You know what I'm saying? So I don't doubt that that next chapter, next step in your life is going to be any different.
Right.
So
and this is, I mean, I have to say, and you could we could co-sign to this, that the reason we are the way we are is from where we grew up.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
We don't even have a post office, but it's like the best town to grow up in.
That's a fact.
When we grew up, it was life was limitless.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, listen, Andrea, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God,
so
are you
good
kidding
to
me?
see you.
Oh my goodness, this was amazing. Great conversation. So there you have it, another phenomenal episode. Thank you so much for tapping into the Clarity Lounge here at the Creative Lounge. I want to thank Andrea for coming through and just talking about her journey and opening up, and hopefully you learn something from her story that you're going to be able to adapt into your own life that's going to help you be successful as you sojourn through your journey, right? Wherever that may take you. So thank you so very much for tapping in. Love you to life. I'm going to check you next time. Peace.